Hi, hey, hello, this is the Triple D's, or
Daddy-daughter discussion. I'm Tyron.
I'm Giselle. Before we start anything, how was your week?
I had a pretty good week. I know it seems like I'm always having an amazing week, good week, but honestly, I do. Even when it's bad, I'm learning from it, so it's good for
Mm.
me. With that being said, so last time we spoke, I was beginning to start the mentorship at San Antonio Prep, charter school.
Yes.
So I'm knee deep into it. So the kids and I got them to agree on a book we're gonna read together, and it's
Oh.
Miseducation of a Negro. One of my favorite books, probably the first book I read when I was about 14, 15. And I'm excited. So when I talked to their director, she wanted, or she's the president, she wanted those particular students that's in our program at 100 Black Men. She wanted to say conscious. So, but I'll go into that later. But my week has been good. What about your week?
It's been slow. I'm just trying to survive till winter break. I know I just got back from Thanksgiving break, but 4 weeks is a lot. I'm worn out. Senioritis is hitting me hard. I don't want to be in school.
You hear her people senioritis. Okay.
That's a real disease.
Is it?
Yep, it's the disease that plagues all
Well,
seniors.
so ease,
Disease, yeah.
ease.
Yes,
Break,
dis-ease.
break down the word dis. So you
Mm-hmm.
disassociate it and you add ease with something. So okay,
Yeah.
which is not a sickness though.
But it's a disease. It's dis-ease. I don't
Maybe
feel at ease at school.
you know. See, okay, okay,
Yeah.
touche. So today, you actually came to me and you was like, "Dad, I want to talk about."
Black woman's role in society.
So we're gonna dive into it. And before we start, I wanna put out a disclosure. Obviously, I'm not a woman. So my opinions is not gonna be based on what I think a woman or a black woman role should be. It's gonna be based on things I've saw, and it's gonna be based on things that I feel they should be, but based on my belief systems, obviously. So that doesn't make it right. So I want to put that disclosure out there. So what made you choose this, and then we can go into it.
So I was in the bathroom, and then "Stand Up" by Cynthia Erivo
Oh,
came
I
on,
love that
and I was
song.
like, and then I was thinking about you have this conference of young black ladies, was it? The conference in January about young black ladies.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was thinking of that, and then
Oh yeah,
Cynthia
yeah.
Erivo came on, and I'm like, you know what? I want to see what he knows. I want to see what he's gonna talk about. Let's get into it. So that's when I called you.
Okay, so it's not a conference, but it's I got invited to speak on the panel, and the panel
Mm.
is me and some other men and women, and they want us to talk about they call it the Black Girl Syndrome, and
Yeah.
the adultification of our young black women. So it'll be a good conversation. So, and you're right, that rolls into some of the things I want to talk about. But yeah, so what's your thoughts? What are your role? What do you feel? And this is a dialogue as a young woman, young black woman, or whatever you want to identify. What do you feel your roles are?
I feel like for not just me, but like for a lot of our history, black women have been something to gaze upon and scrutinize.
Scrutinize.
Scrutinize, thank
Mhm.
you. Like I wrote here, black women are women enough to be lusted after, but not women enough to be respected. So I think for
Okay.
a lot of our history, that's what the role of black women, to be looked upon, to take our features and make it your own, but like not see us as a person.
So what do you think? So with that being said, sounds like you speaking from the oppressive side. What do you think? Like back in the days, their father, their mother, their father, their brother. How do you think they looked upon them? Do you think they objectified them also?
No, but then
Ah.
that could be like an Aunt Jemima, she's gonna take care of you role.
No, 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 no. I'm saying, how do you think I would look upon, as you said, ancient mom, if she was my mom? what would you think I would feel her role was supposed to be?
Like your mom.
So what? So that's what
But
I'm getting after. Okay.
Yeah, that's you. But I'm talking about the world, like society in general. Like a lot of people they don't see a lot of black women as moms, just like the angry black woman or something like that. Not something that could be caring or too caring.
Mm-hmm. And I don't disagree. When we look at roles, for one, when you posed it to me, I was like, the roles of a woman. Now I kind of see where you're going from that perspective of a black woman. And you're right. There's been a lot of objectification or just pushing down on oppressing just about people in general. But we're speaking of a woman. But when I look at a role, like I don't per se want to define any woman, and we're speaking of women in a role, right? And I say that because I think 4 shows back, we talked about feminine and masculine energy, right? And so when I look at roles, I always associate it with that. Give you a point. So before, I'm gonna go into that. I actually talked to my mom. I talked to other people. I talked to because I wanted to understand what do they think a role is, and it was interesting. First of all, since they know me so well, and they know
they're like, "What do you want?"
Yeah, Dad, and they know I'm not a roles type of person. They was like, even my mom today, she was like, well, because she was trying to. I was like, what do you feel your role is? Your role is, and she gave me those things, and it aligned to what I always felt. So I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Something that's innate that I've always felt that's in the feminine or black woman's is nurture. Right now, I'm gonna say the word nurture, but that particular word can manifest differently depending on the role she is serving in that person's life. The role my mother served as a nurturer to me was totally different than she did with my father. Totally different she did at work. It was totally different than how she ran her business. So when I look at roles, I align it to that perspective. Now you're right. The negative part of it, absolutely. There is a lot of it. But I wanted it to, for me, I'm gonna focus on how do you see your role? Not how they see it. How do you see your role as a young black woman?
To be honest, I haven't really thought about my specific role.
And see, and that is one of the things I'm going to be talking about in January, because what you just laid out is exactly that you try to tell me what they define you, but it's easy to be defined by those roles if you don't know your role or who you are.
Yeah, I had it wrote down, like a lot of young black ladies, like they have to, or like not just black women, but like women of color, they have to worry about their appearance, like make sure to look good to fit into like what people want them to be in society.
But is that a role? Is that a role?
I see it as one.
So
your role in society, to be a person in the crowd, like to fit in.
So you okay?
Well, I guess
so
more your purpose. Your purpose is to fit in.
So you saying a black woman's role, how you see it was, as in general, is just to be objectified and just an object.
No, just to fit in, like just to be part of
whatever's going on.
Yeah, just to, like, if you want me to be this, like, I'll be there.
Okay. And I can see from a perspective where that can come from. And I'm glad we're talking about this, because one of the things just because we're going to keep it with, you and I. So when you look at, name a couple women in your life now that has a prominent impression or influence upon you.
Granny.
Okay.
Abuela, the one in Puerto Rico. My mom.
Okay.
Miss Denise.
Okay.
Miss Denise.
What do those women show you that you can grab from that you can place you in as a role for you. So when you look at your mother, what are some roles that you see her doing as a mother, wife, etc.? All those things. Friend.
A healer.
Okay.
Very straightforward. I know that's more personality. I
No,
don't know how to describe it.
No. That's fine.
For Granny, just someone to talk to.
Okay.
She wants to feed you all the time, so the cook.
Okay.
Miss Denise, her mind. She always has the wisdom you need.
Okay.
Abuela, I don't know. Okay. She's just that free spirit.
Free spirit. And so it's funny you say that. So we're going back to the feminine energy. I'm going to tie this in. So everything, I'm going to name a couple of natural feminine energy. Unconditional love, nurturing, tenderness, kindness, intuitive, that's wisdom, right? Creative, feelings, stillness, flow, sensitivity, emotion, ease, allowing, right? So all of those things, and you can use those words and you can start defining who you are as well. And like I said, you use the people that's around you. And then as you kind of continue to matriculate through this world, you will start defining, because I was curious where you was going with this, but now I do. I'm more of a, I'm obviously 17 years of your life. I've changed a lot and evolved, but one thing that's been very constant with me, I'm very optimistic. I can fixate and focus on, but people don't tell me.
I was doing my research and I was very focused on the oppressive.
Yeah.
You look at we're so feminine. I was looking at it. Black women have always been, or women of color, their masculine energy has always been the forefront of what people look at. So our feminine energy can't show through, and our true roles can't present itself. And that's
and with that, and that's fine. But even with that, that person that's close to them, they can still see everything that society might not see. You can see as a daughter. I can see as a husband. I can see as a father. As you continue to grow as a young lady, I can start seeing. I can always say, I think my mom, her first thing she said, her roles are, to cook. She said, clean, make a home. That's fine. That's nurture. That's her nurturing side, right? That's how that gives her simple pleasures, right? Some people can say is to give guidance, to be a filler into it and just listen. So that's why I put the disclaimer. I'm not a woman. So, but I can see the things you said about, Denise, you said about your mother, your grandmothers. I see all that. And I'm either their son or their husband or their friend or, son-in-law. So I've been in all their lives in that capacity. So I can see.
To me, that's, them. You got to know them. Mm-hmm. But with some stranger people, they may not know oh, she's nurturing, but will she see that she's...
Well, I would tell you this. Doesn't matter. Because how you see yourself should push out.
It should, but if you have stereotypes blinding you, are you really going to see that?
No, you agree. And I would say most likely not. Most people that have stereotypes, they already have their perspective on things. But I like to fixate or focus on you internally. Because what can happen is you can allow those stereotypes to make you be, oh, this is my role because this is what they expecting of me. And then you go on down a treacherous path.
I have to somewhat disagree, somewhat agree.
It's fine.
Because I see it as a lot of black women, they could be strong or strong, loud, and people talk about that and make it seem like it's a bad thing. So it's no matter what you do, it's still bad.
Well, I haven't, so even that, you stereotype, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen somebody...
not loud, but confident. I'm talking about confident.
Well, I haven't you're right, but that still goes back to Because this is not an agreement, disagreement. That still goes back to that's not your problem. A person might feel intimidated because they still don't know who they are. So yeah, you're right. Now, can a woman, a black woman, a woman of color, however you wanna, can it sometimes come off abrasive? I think everybody can come off abrasive at sometimes, you know. But I never looked at that as being as a woman's role. I can see where you're coming from, because I even for me, you know, I'm gonna bring me into it, because I don't want to speak on a woman. So I can allow somebody to tell me how they see me, what they want me to be. I can, but as long as you know me, have I? No. Nah. Because at the end of the day, you give people that power. So for our young black women, our older black women, yes, we can be. They have been probably have been beaten down. But I still think intrinsically or internally they know a role. That's why. So when I ask you, what are your role as a young woman, and that's something that you need to think about. Like, what are my roles? Who am I? Because your role should be totally aligned to who you are, and your roles can change. Your roles as my daughter, as a young senior in high school, it will change as you continue to get older. Don't you think? Yeah. So, but I want to see the rest of your notes. You know, hit me up.
Okay. I think something that inspired me was Sojourner's Truth, Ain't I a Woman? Mm-hmm. So the reason I wanted to do like black woman, I don't even want to just do woman.
No.
I wanted to do black woman specifically because I feel like I said earlier, kind of our roles have been not of a feminine role, but moved away.
Yeah. So and the only reason I said women because I didn't know how you defining roles is totally different how I'm defining.
Yeah.
I'm defining roles. I'm thinking roles as a purpose and a responsibility, not how somebody sees you. That's not a role to me.
Well, I'm not defining it as that. I'm saying like role, your the purpose, the goal, similar.
But you can't be, not if you are using it how somebody see you. How somebody see you has nothing to do with your day to day.
That's day to day, but I feel like just women in general, for like older times, your role, make the home, take care of the children, all that, because that was a social norm. So I feel like that social norm, what other people think is good, still has an effect on your role, your purpose.
That's now see, you blended it. That's true. That's why I told you my mom, your granny said her role is
make the home.
And for some, that might not work for you, right? And for some, it might not. But for her, it does. Now, it doesn't matter if it's been placed in her mind from generation to generation, but it works for her. It totally works for her. It might not work for you, but it works for her. It gives her simple pleasure. That's the first she said. She said. So I think we got to be careful when it can be arrogant of us to think that a person, I always use the word we in the matrix, right? And I get this from a movie. But it'd be arrogant of me to say, everything that you believe and how you are and what you are was played, it's somewhat true, but it's arrogant of me to say that you probably want to internalize that. That's who you want to be. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Kinda.
Okay, so what I'm saying is it'll be arrogant of me to tell you that you feel cooking and cleaning is not good. If you feel that's good enough for you, it's good enough for you.
I wasn't saying it wasn't good. I was just making an example.
I know. I'm just saying, but with that example, that should encompass everything. So with objectification, right? When I was in Europe, I knew women that, I'm just putting it out there because we speaking frank that just purposely wanted to be in prostitution. Purposely, it was legal and they wanted to do it. Are they wrong?
No. I think it's like taking back the.
So that's what I'm saying. So it all depends on perspective. That's why I'm asking you, because we can go back in history. But I'm asking you, but go back what you were saying about Sojourner Truth. I love Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? I want to know why she said that too. But go ahead.
It was like I can't like quote certain lines, but it was like you see a white woman, you like if there was a puddle, you'd lay down your coat and let her walk on it. But if you see me, you don't treat me with the same respect. Ain't I a woman? So it was kind of what I was coming from.
No, you're right.
Black women haven't been allowed to be women. To like exercise that role.
Yeah. Is that true from? And I guess I go back to the home because to me it starts in the home. I wonder because we don't know. Was she a woman at home with her husband if she was married with her children?
Well,
or was she looking for society's validation to say, I'm good enough?
Well, I don't think Sojourner Truth, like, even if she was, like, yeah, she could have that confidence, but it was more like that wears down on you, like, segregation, prejudice, like, why are you treating that fairness? Why are you treating her like that, but not me? What's the difference? So I guess it is, like, a bit of an invalidation. And it was like, I don't care about what other people say, but it's like, I'm a woman. Like,
no, and I agree. But I will say this, it starts with you. It starts with you. So, since we don't know context, now, if she was getting that, if she's looking at it from she's trying to get that from, if you looking at you trying to get that from the world, I get it. Unfortunately, you're going to have to blow this thing up and start all over because people's minds are set. It's going to probably be 8 or 10 generations, maybe more, before people, and this is just my opinion, before they get those social stereotypes that we talked about maybe 10 podcasts back that's been placed in our heads. So I like to start within. That's why I'm going back to you. So what do you think? Oh, I'm putting you on the spot today.
Yeah, but before we go into that, you say start within, and yet we are taught from the home that's influenced by these social norms of like what is a woman. So how can you start within if what you've been taught is that you're not a woman? How do you do that? How do you start within?
Have you been taught that?
No, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about.
You can't do that. But that's what you're doing. You're trying to insert that.
Well,
you start with
lucky.
you.
I've been lucky.
How you know? You got empirical data? You know what empirical data is?
Yes.
If you have empirical data to say that you are the only lucky one?
I'm not saying I'm the only lucky one.
Well, I'm saying, so out of 10 women, how many women do you think your empirical data could show that they didn't get that? I guess for me, because maybe I'm a little biased. I feel that black men, me as a black man, or my friends as the black men that I have would ever objectify their wives or their daughters, young black daughters. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I guess that's the place I'm coming from. That's why I say, I know you want to say you lucky, but I'm optimistic. I believe that, like, I know Lewis do the same thing. Everybody I hang with, they love their daughters. They always, and they sons or they wives. So I don't know where you, because are you going grandiose, or are you trying to just say, what perspective are you going from?
More history.
History?
I'm going from like a historical perspective.
Okay.
Because
okay, and that's very relevant.
I'm going from a historical because I don't feel like I've experienced like that type of prejudice.
And you're right, and you know why?
At least hopefully,
you have, with your hair and all that, but it was what they call microaggressions.
Yeah,
right?
microaggressions.
So historical, yes, historical black women has been objectified. They've been, looked down upon, looked at as sex objects or just workers and less than, I guess. But that's not been my experience in the home. Me, my dad, my brothers, my uncles, I never seen the men in my life objectify
But
women.
do you think because you were raised in a mostly black, like?
Well,
around
that's
black
why I
people?
said. Hence, what I said. It's what does it start? To me, it starts from home. It starts when I say it starts within, and then you said, but what if they? That's what I said. So my empirical data showed me different. And you too. You just talked about all my brothers. What do you think? How they are with their wives and their kids and their daughters?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. My uncles. Same thing, right? So that's where I'm coming from that perspective. Like now, I know like it starts at home, and once it starts at home, yes, the world is like it'll come down on it, be oppressed. But if I arm you, one of my jobs and responsibility as your black father is to arm and equip you to be unapologetic and know who you are and whom you come from. And be fine with change. Go ahead.
I was researching. It said like a lot of black women become single mothers, so maybe that's like something that comes into play. Like they don't have that black father. Maybe that's the reason I'm lucky because you stay. Like a lot of people, dads don't stay.
I got to go back and look at the data. I know a lot of it can be skewed. You would think. What one thing I do know. The data shows me, and you can look this up off of the CDC website. Black father stays in the kid's life more than any other ethnicity. Period. That's a fact. That's a fact. But they won't tell you that. But that's a fact. I can show you the data. Stuff that they was doing studies and numbers. Black men stays in their children's lives. That's a fact. Are they outliners? Absolutely. I'm not saying we at 100% clip. No, I said out of all the other ethnicities, we stay. So to answer your question, that could be true to some. But if we looking the numbers, the numbers say different. The numbers say black men are in their daughters' lives, or their babies' lives. So we speaking daughters, so their daughters' lives. So. But I will say this: every black man is not equipped or made equal. So yes, even though they're in their lives, what are they inducing or to educate? What are they pulling out or pulling in or pushing in? Now that can be toxic. I do. That can be toxic. I've seen it firsthand. And even me as your father, I can tell you, I didn't purposely put toxic stuff in you, but unintentionally I did. And then as I got smarter, like, okay, perfect example, we was talking about it last night when we was talking about religiosity. Right? I don't think God, but I didn't intentionally try to put toxicity in you. Toxic to me, for me, is putting in something in you that can have potential to disrupt your life. So if you got a belief system that is placed upon you that doesn't align up to your reality, it can mess with your psyche. It can mess with your mind. It really can. You can be feeling guilty, like, oh man, I don't supposed to be doing this. Daddy taught me not to do this, but this is aligned to who I am as a woman. You see what I'm saying? So early on, I did. So through my evolution as evolving as a man, I started stripping back, pulling back. And you notice, as we say, you don't do that. No, I don't. That's called evolving and changing, right? As a person, a man. So I really like this because this is prepping me for January.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I gotta get you ready.
Yeah, it's prepping me for January. And unfortunately, I feel that most people gonna come from your perspective because it's easy After this talk, I don't think you would, but because you know me, is I can dig from the negative part of it, but first I start with me, and I'm very, that's why I want a person to be optimistic and start with them. Now you can't start with you and be optimistic if you still don't have a clue who you are. Like if you don't know where your role is at in the world, oh yeah, you know you're gonna be tilting. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I asked you a role and you gonna work on that. We're gonna deal with that.
Darn.
Because I think you do. I just don't think you know how to articulate it. Like,
Yeah, I just know like words.
because you've seen it. Like
Yeah,
I said, you just said your mom. You use those women. That's why I asked you. Use those women in your life and pull from them. And then you say, I want to use this. Use those things, those qualities that you see from your mom. Like, I want to use this. This is going to be one of my roles as, you can say, as a daughter, as a friend, as a future wife. Use the roles as Denise, and you see her as an auntie, a friend. I'm going to use these roles as wisdom as somebody I can get. You see what I'm saying? That's what I have done as a man.
Yeah. My role, I'm a mentor. I'm a sage.
Oh, you're a sage.
Yeah, I'm a sage. I went through archetypes in my English class. I'm a sage. I'm like a Dumbledore.
Okay.
That's my role in society.
Okay. Well, to go historically, our black women will use black because that's what the society want to put us as colors, but our queens or African queens or everybody coming out. But I ain't want to go in there. But I would say, honestly, that in the communities, from a tribal perspective, you guys were sages. This was an advisor, the wise ones. So that's very aligned to some of the roles of a woman.
So that kind of makes me
Teacher.
think, like black women. I guess in my English class, we learned about Carl Jung,
Mm-hmm.
the unconscious mind. Like, even though you don't know it, like
It's in you.
Yeah, it's in you. So maybe it's like what's in us is kind of different from what's like. I don't want to say American, but like.
Absolutely, no. You say you.
Yeah,
You
American culture is kind of like the woman is more.
It's in
the
you.
feminine is
It's
under the
in you.
masculinity. So I kind of like trying to. Not alternate, trying to operate in that kind of world.
Exactly, it's schizophrenia. That's why
schizophrenia.
Meaning it's in you, but it's you. The society is trying to tell you who you are, but all in you is telling you that's not my role. That's why I say what's in you. You have before you was even thought about. Your mother's 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 mother's. Right? You were born with every egg you're gonna have. The day you was born, every egg that you ever gonna have, you're not gonna get any more. You'll lose them, but you're not gonna get any more. So with that being said, your mother's 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 already had you.
Oh, kind of weird.
Already had you.
That means I've been here since the earth.
Exactly. We ended you. You already was here.
God, no wonder I'm so wise.
All of us. The eggs you have, the children, they was already, boom, 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 boom. Already here. Not just you, me.
That kind of makes you think like the universe.
The
universe is just the woman's uterus and we're just eggs.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was having a discussion and we're probably going off the beaten path, and that's fine because this is a discussion. I think we want to be led spiritually, right?
Meant to ebb and flow.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the questions, for whatever reason, me and my friend was talking about why do they give God and say God as a he, right? And then he had his explanation. I said if they would, he said, well, what you would say? And he said, if they was to put a gun to your head, what would you say? They say, give a gender. I said, honestly, I probably would say female. He said, what? I said, yeah. I said, you know why? I said, if I want to understand creation from a human perspective, I can only look at a woman because they only creators. From the womb, they create. It comes out. I said, secondly, we are carbon copies of women. I said, we got nipples. What do they do? What do they function? They has no function. But women have a function for theirs. I'm gonna go and I hope it's clitorius, right? Women have clitorius, men have them too, but ours is way by the prostate. It has no function. So if anything, we came from women and evolved, as you know. If I was to say that, now I don't have any proof because him and I was just dialoguing.
Just
but if you don't, but if you don't dialogue with me, I'm gonna go in, right? So I said that's why I said for me, I use the word creator because they have co-opted the word so much that even that they have made masculinity gave it so much divinity that for a woman she can't even find her role even with their spirituality. Think about that. Like what?
Like there's no place in the Vatican for a woman.
Yeah, I always said that like Mary, angel came to Mary and said, "You will hold the Son of Man," by being God by the Holy Spirit. I don't know anywhere in the Bible she said, "Okay, I agree with you." She
was like, "Wait, hold on."
You know what I'm saying? So even that,
no voice.
Exactly. So it starts even from what you were saying. It starts. That's why I said
it's a role.
It starts with you. Have to start it with you, and it has to be like, who am I as a woman? What do I feel my roles are as a woman? And once you start with that, you have to be. You always hear me like I'm unapologetic. Like I already like these are my roles, and I'm not afraid to change when something is added into my life that I need to be, right? But you wanted this, and I like this conversation, but I want you to elaborate on things that or we can kind of cut it off and for next week, what you want to do?
No, let's just keep going.
Okay.
Because when we cut it off, we never get back to it.
Go ahead.
When you say go from eternal, you know who I think of?
What's that?
Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, like female rappers like that. I think they really master being eternal and not worrying about what other people think the role should be.
It's funny you say that because even what you said objectifying, right?
Yeah, they kind of took that promiscuous black woman role and made it their own.
Yeah, and so for young girls that do you think you have your young daughter? Would you want them to look at that?
No.
So I think even that we had to clean up. We had to clean up ourselves.
So I guess they kind of made it eternal. This is me. But then there's a little girl this is me too. This is gonna be me. And then it allows other people to be to objectify and lust over young little ladies.
So it makes me think was this really them, or was this something that they just said?
This is me now.
That so it makes me wonder: was that them? Is that the real them? But then again, I don't know. Nicki Minaj got kids, right? She got a little kid. I don't know how her child look at her, how her husband look at her. She might. He probably don't even look at her as how we see her in the videos. Maybe she like me. She don't care how the world see her. She gonna be who she is.
I think you would get along with Nicki Minaj. You and her.
She's like, whatever. This is how I see me. I'm gonna redefine myself in myself, right? Okay. I like that. More. I want more. Give me more. Give me more.
Okay, so I was trying to get some ammo. So,
ammo? Why you trying to? This is not a competition.
No, just ammo.
You see what I'm saying, people? She always want to get a one up on me. You think I'm one upping you? That's what it is.
I'm not trying to one up. I need some sources. So this is the Gallup podcast. What are Black women's daily experiences like in the U.S.? I know it's experiences, but it's kind of an experience role. This has Whitney.
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same, but it coincides.
You making it coincide, but I let it work. We can work.
Thank you. So this podcast has Whitney DePrue, Camille Lloyd, and Mohammed Yunus.
Okay.
So hold on.
So
as I look, you can stay.
No. I can still talk. So. For me, Rose, when I look at Rose, like I said, I kind of line it to feminine, what I look at as feminine qualities, and even those are not. The funny thing, like, well, where did you get those? I look into nature. I always look at that tree. And people gonna probably want to come here and just look at the tree in my backyard. I always talk about, or the roses. You see my roses is growing, right? But for me, I had to nurture those things. But I got those. I didn't understand how to nurture things for my mother. So even her, as a sage, as a teacher, she taught me how to be a nurturer. So, but go ahead. You got some ammo?
Okay, so this is kind of why I feel like experience coincides as well. So she, this is Camille Lloyd. Mm-hmm. She says, hold on, let me find the beginning of this sentence. Can I just start there and just centering the experience of Black women on International Women's Day or around, just to kind of acknowledge that Black women exist. We exist. We are experiencing this world, and we experience this world in a unique way, differently from others, and then we don't get lumped up because I think the experience of Black women is oftentimes, either not seen or doubted. So I think,
do you feel that way? Because I can't tell you a Black woman's experience. You as a young Black lady, do you feel unseen? Sometimes.
So I feel like that kind of affects my role. Like, okay, I think now it's getting better, but like if I was younger, like would I see someone like me on TV? So like, what is my role? To be quiet, to not be there. Okay. So I think that kind of.
Okay, and so you're getting it from, I like what you just said, TV. That's not what you have seen in real life.
It's not real life. It's just TV.
So do you? And this is crazy talk. So we need to get rid of TVs and social media, and then we probably be straight, huh?
Probably, honestly, like social media. I think a lot of people say social media, it's ruining the world, it's ruining our kids.
Well, I think it can be. I'm not on social media, y'all know that. I think the first time I did something on my Instagram was when I did my first post
about this podcast.
About the podcast, Speaking of the podcast, you can find it on Amazon, you can find it on all streaming platforms that I know, from iCloud to Apple. You can find it, and you can reach us, and our email is on there. You can reach us at Teron, Tyron Sutton 1@gmail.com. Shoot us a little email. Let us know what you think about the podcast, and will be topics you want us to discuss, and we'll be happy to do that. Go ahead, baby.
No, you were talking. You cut yourself off.
No. Well, that was a little promo.
Oh, okay. Well, you can talk.
Oh, you still trying to search.
I'm finding ammo.
She's still trying to find ammo. So, what you just said when you was talking about that, that's what I'm curious to know. And how, because you're right, social media, those outside influencers can't influence you. Mm-hmm. Hence the initial statement, it starts with you. It starts with you.
I feel like it's like the chicken and the egg situation. Does it start with you, or does it start with what you looked at and you internalize and take that as your own? So who does it actually start with?
Even that. So even if you was born with it, I always say when a belief system, something that you believe so strongly, but it doesn't align up to your reality, you have to be, I usually say man or woman enough, but on this we're going to say woman enough to challenge it. If it doesn't align up to you, you should be woman enough to challenge it. And if you're not, we all have coward moments. Be woman enough to own up, like, man, I'm being a coward. I don't want to own up to this. Because even you just said it. There are some things that you've seen that doesn't line up to you that you might want to do, but it doesn't line up to you. Why are you not brave enough? Is it something that I can do? Because this is a discussion. Because is it something that I can do as your father to equip you, to arm you, to go take out, to challenge what even I have put in you?
I don't want to admit defeat, but I do think it starts within.
Why are you trying to? This is not
This is a battlefield right now.
I see. Why?
I feel like it does kind of start within, like knowing who you are. But what you could do,
Okay.
I don't know.
Think about it. And this doesn't have to be on the podcast
'Cause
airways,
I just feel like you do what you need to do.
but I can always do more. I do what I need to do from prism how I understand how to be a father. I keep evolving, but then one of my things is I always like this podcast, right? Even though my intuition told me that you needed it, right? Even through this podcast, there are things that you have pulled out of me and I pulled out of you, right? So we could have stopped, but you was like,
No,
yeah, I need it, right? So that's what I'm saying. So you need to let me know as your father. And it might not be something it might be something that your mother had. You know, like some of the conversations that you and I had, I absolutely love having them. But sometimes you're like, I think that's a conversation you be having with our mama. But you don't.
Yeah, so I guess what you've done, I feel like other black little ladies you should get is a voice.
Yeah.
Just like
More of a voice, okay.
a voice in society.
Yeah.
Just a way to speak out, just a platform.
And it's funny you said that. So when I said that feminine masculinity energy, I'm gonna give you one positive thing, and you tell me does it align to what I'm giving you as one of my roles?
As one of your roles?
Yeah, protection, clarity, discipline.
No, none at all.
Oh yeah, right. So giving you a voice, giving you that platform. The fact that you have those things is part of one of my roles that you can feel comfortable to go up there and be protected. That's why I say even from the feminine, I'm going back to the feminine, you know, and that's why I was like unconditional love, feelings, creative, ease, emotional. You use those things and you align it you start cultivating you, right? And cultivating it's a garden. We are gardens. And, you know, it's constant. It's constant. I plant new seeds in me every season. What I'm planting in me this winter has been totally different what I planted during the summer, right? Because what's going to come up in March is something that's gonna benefit me for that time period. So, and I'm trying to get myself back into season within me. So that's why I say I believe it starts with us. But I got a strong belief in that because I like to hold myself accountable. I like to always start with me. Even when I do something that you guys might try to apologize. No, I always say, I think it was me. Let me think about that. I always say that, like, I think it was me. Let me think about that. So, but it's not a defeat, baby girl. It's not, because I'm actually learning a lot at this moment. Like, what are you learning, Dad? One, that I need to do better in trying to help you define and redefine who you are as a young woman, as a young black woman, right? Two, to continue to give you, I didn't learn, but I need to do more of it, is to give you that bigger platform, all right? So I'm doing that, so that's why you coming with me in January to my little talk. You know, I'm gonna point you out. That's my daughter, not a dot.
No.
They might call you up.
I had nightmares about that. Like,
oh Lord, I should have told you, huh?
Yeah, you shouldn't have told me. I just have a mask on. He don't know it's me.
Oh, they gonna see you. They be like, oh, that's his daughter right there. So, yeah, but you got anything? I know you love it. And this is, stop saying I give up defeat. You would really try to, listen, we don't, the time for us, the period of time that we used to try to debate should be over. Not me and you. I'm talking about black men and black women in general. A woman and man in general. The time to try to debate, to me, is small. We need to try to find a common agreement so we can flourish as a people. I don't have to agree with everything you say. You don't have to agree with everything I say. But if we respect and have common ground, we can flow with it. You can add what I got to you. I can add what you got to me. Boom, we can flourish. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's just black minimum. I think that's just politics in general.
I think that's human, but I'm keeping with the theme. You said.
Yeah, okay.
So now you want to correct me. I'm keeping with your
It's
theme.
not English. I'm trying to relate it to the world.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep with your theme. You know, I said human, but you said, hey, and that's fine.
There's nothing really else to add.
You know, okay. You know what? We do got to cut this podcast a little short. Not short because it's over an hour. We only do hour. We don't want 30 minutes to. This is one of our longest ones. So I won't ask you to forgive us, audience. I know that listening to this will touch your soul. One, if you're a father, if you're a daughter, if you're a young man, young woman, young man, older man, young woman, I don't think I know it will. Why? Because everything that came through this airway today was nothing but spiritual. When I say spiritual, is spirituality relies to my reality. That's a whole another topic. I'm not gonna go into that. But with that being said, I'm gonna give it to my daughter.
Oh, okay. This is the Triple D or
Daddy-daughter discussion.